The esteemed Stoic philosopher Epicurus famously advised associating with those who elevate you, with individuals whose presence brings out your best qualities. You might be familiar with the adage, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. In this video, we'll delve into this concept from a Stoic perspective. We'll examine 10 types of people who might hinder your progress in Stoic philosophy and why reassessing your relationships with them is vital. Before we start, I'd appreciate it if you could like the video to support the spread of Stoic philosophy. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend doing so and activating the notification bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Let's explore the 10 types of people you should consider avoiding. The first type of person to be mindful of is the complainer. We all know someone, a friend, family member, or coworker, who consistently finds fault in everything, from the weather to their job, or even the food at a well-liked restaurant. They seize every chance to express their dissatisfaction. You might think, why should this bother me? I can just ignore them. However, it's easier said than done. Regular exposure to such negativity can be mentally draining, similar to a small, persistent leak that gradually empties your emotional energy reservoir. Stoicism encourages us to focus on actionable solutions rather than fixating on problems. For instance, picture working on a project with a perpetual complainer like Alex. Each meeting becomes a tiresome session of grievances, diminishing the team's morale and distracting from productive solutions. Over time, this could lead to a sense of disenchantment with both the project and perhaps life in general. From a Stoic perspective, there are several ways to handle this situation. First, focus on what's within your control, your reactions and thoughts, not Alex's. Concentrate on improving your performance, rather than letting the situation deteriorate because of Alex's negativity. Second, challenge negative thoughts. Alex's pessimism may not reflect reality or might be inconsequential. Look for the project's positive aspects. Third, create a positive environment. By embodying Stoic thinking and a positive attitude, you can influence the work environment. Remember, Stoic philosophy is about managing and reacting to situations, not changing others. This approach helps maintain a positive attitude and focus on solutions rather than getting bogged down in someone else's negativity. Dealing with a complainer, Stoicism offers several strategies. Limit your exposure to the individual when possible. If that's not feasible, mentally distance yourself during their tirades. Think of their complaints as a transient storm, loud and disruptive but ultimately powerless against your inner tranquility. Another strategy is to redirect conversations towards solutions or more constructive topics. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This Stoic wisdom teaches us to protect our mental peace, ensuring that the negativity of chronic complainers doesn't derail us from our path of resilience and virtue. The second type of person to be cautious of is the drama magnet. Picture your life as a ship sailing through calm waters, but then you encounter the whirlpool of the drama magnet. This person seems to be constantly embroiled in crises, conflicts, or controversies, and possesses a disconcerting ability to drag others into their chaos. Initially, you might find the drama magnet's energy appealing, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, it soon becomes clear that being in their vicinity is akin to navigating a ship in a storm, exhausting and perilous. The challenge with drama magnets is that their urgent issues often feel like they become your own. Their chaos can spread, drawing you into conflicts that initially had nothing to do with you. For example, consider a friend, Sarah, who frequently gets into disputes within your social circle. She might engage in a heated debate, escalating into a serious conflict, expressing anger and dissatisfaction, and frequently criticizing and complaining about other group members. If you find yourself feeling pressured and tense in this situation, Stoic principles can help. One technique is reflective listening. Instead of trying to persuade Sarah or engaging in the conflict, reflect back her statements in a non-judgmental way. For instance, when Sarah expresses frustration over disagreements, you might say, "So, you feel frustrated with their disagreement, right?" This approach acknowledges her feelings without escalating the tension. However, if Sarah continues to perpetuate conflicts and your participation in the group no longer aligns with your peace and goals, consider becoming selectively unavailable. This might mean temporarily distancing yourself from the group or seeking out activities and relationships more in tune with your state of mind. Stoicism teaches us to value our time and sometimes be unavailable for others' crises, especially if they're recurrent and unresolved. To manage your availability, you might turn off your phone at certain times, create focused periods for work or personal development, and communicate that you're not to be disturbed during these times. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. Instead of worrying about the next crisis, focus on the present moment, where you have control. Don't let your life be disrupted by someone else's drama. Aim to sail your ship calmly, steering clear of whirlpools that threaten your journey towards personal growth and tranquility. The third type of person to be wary of is the unfavorable person. Imagine you're an artist, your canvas representing your life's vision. Each brushstroke adds color, depth, and life. Now, picture a naysayer entering your studio, looking at your work, and immediately beginning to critique. Are you sure about that color? That doesn't look realistic. You know, most artists never make it. Their words, like strokes of gray, start to dim your vibrant canvas. This isn't just constructive criticism, it's a continuous aura of doubt and negativity. For instance, suppose you're enthusiastic about a new career path. You've researched, consulted experts, and perhaps even taken courses. However, when you share your plans, others quickly list reasons why it might not succeed. The market is too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail? Their doubts start to infiltrate your confidence, causing your vision to waver. But don't let their negative words defeat you. Instead of succumbing to doubt, ask probing questions. Why is the market competitive? Can I enhance my skills to meet this challenge? If I encounter difficulties, can I learn from them? This approach shifts the focus from problems to solutions and overcoming challenges, maintaining faith in your abilities and not letting others' doubts undermine your resolve. Dealing with a naysayer, especially if they are close to you, requires tact. One approach is to ask them for advice instead of merely sharing your plans. When people are put in an advisory role, they're less likely to outright attack your ideas and might offer constructive feedback. Another method is positive confrontation. Challenge them to think of solutions. If they express doubts about a career change, ask them how they think someone could successfully switch careers. This not only counters negativity but promotes a more constructive dialogue. Remember the Stoic philosopher Epictetus's words, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening doesn't mean accepting everyone's negativity. It means discerning valuable advice from mere noise. When naysayers start clouding your vision with doubt, take a step back, assess their feedback critically, and continue painting your canvas with confidence and determination. The fourth type of person to be cautious of is the toxic positivist. This is someone who constantly exudes sunshine, rainbows, and an overabundance of positivity. They often dismiss real emotions and experiences with an overly optimistic outlook. Imagine your life as a garden. It has flowers, but also weeds and pests. The toxic positivist focuses only on the flowers, ignoring the rest. For instance, consider going through a difficult breakup, a time when you're feeling sad, confused, and seeking balance. A toxic positivist might frustratingly advise, "There are plenty of fish in the sea, just smile and be happy." While intended to be uplifting, such statements ignore the pain and complexity of your experience. This kind of excessive positivity overlooks the depth of human emotions and the realities of life. Life isn't always about happiness. Confronting negative emotions like sadness, grief, and disappointment is natural and necessary. Instead of suppressing negative emotions, learning to confront, accept, and understand them can foster growth and learning. The key is to maintain a balance, experiencing life in a realistic and balanced way. How do you manage your emotional garden in the face of toxic positivity? One approach is to engage in discussions that acknowledge both the positives and negatives. For example, if a toxic positivist says, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health," you might respond, "Yes, I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this specific issue." Both feelings can coexist. Another strategy is to practice emotional granularity, the ability to feel and differentiate a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When faced with insistent positivity, acknowledge and label your complex feelings. Affirming, "I'm feeling melancholic today because of X, and that's okay," can be empowering. Referencing Stoic philosophy, Seneca said, "True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice the balance, understanding duties, which aren't always pleasant, and enjoying the present. Stoicism isn't about focusing solely on the positive or the negative, it's about embracing life's complexities with equanimity. So, when a toxic positivist showers their relentless optimism on your life, remember that a garden needs both sunshine and rain to thrive. Embrace the full spectrum of your emotions and continue nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. The fifth type of person to steer clear of is the victim. Picture life as a chess game where each player has the same pieces and the common goal of checkmating the opponent. In this analogy, you strategize, make sacrifices, and sometimes take risks. However, the victim blames the chessboard, pieces, or their opponent for every poor move. They see themselves perpetually in checkmate, not due to their choices, but because of external forces. This perspective is a powerful way to understand how we all face challenges and make decisions. In life, like in chess, we all start with similar opportunities and aim to succeed. The key difference between successful individuals and victims is their response to setbacks. The victim habitually attributes their failures to external factors, perceiving themselves as perpetually oppressed by circumstances beyond their control. This mindset leads them to cast themselves as the helpless protagonist in an ongoing narrative of suffering, overlooking their power to shape their destiny. Successful people understand that while life presents challenges and uncontrollable elements, how they respond and decide their next moves is what truly matters. Acknowledging that some face genuine hardships and systemic issues, the victim mentality we're discussing here is one that clings to predicaments as excuses, shunning responsibility for their situation. When entangled with a victim, especially someone close, try using open-ended questions that prompt reflection, like, "What could you do differently?" or "How can you take control of this situation?" Show empathy and kindness, but avoid becoming their perpetual rescuer. Listen, but don't solve their problems for them. Remember the Stoic philosopher Epictetus's words, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." If you find yourself drawn into the victim's narrative, resist the temptation to mirror their mentality. Take control of your own life, make strategic moves, and remember that being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not an inevitable fate. Keep moving forward, make sacrifices when necessary, and play for growth and wisdom, not for revenge or pity. The sixth type of person to be cautious of is the time vampire. Picture your daily routine as a symphony, where each instrument represents a task or commitment that harmonizes your life. Then, the time vampire intrudes, screeching off-key, disrupting the melody and flow of your composition. Time vampires are those who incessantly demand your time and attention, often offering little value in return. It could be a friend who engages you in long, draining conversations, or a colleague who constantly interrupts your work with trivialities, causing you to miss deadlines. Time vampires not only consume your time, they also disrupt your focus, productivity, and peace. To manage them, setting clear boundaries is key. Communicate your availability and limits firmly but politely. Inform them of when you are available for calls or meetings, and when you need focused, uninterrupted work time. Encourage them to respect your schedule as you respect theirs. Another strategy is to redirect their demands towards more productive or efficient communication methods. For instance, if a friend is prone to long, aimless phone calls, suggest switching to shorter, focus text messages or emails for quick updates or questions. This way, you regain control over your time and prevent it from being drained. Let's elaborate on dealing with a friend who frequently makes lengthy, indefinite phone calls. Proposing a switch to concise text messages or emails as a more efficient means of communication saves time and creates a more convenient environment for both parties. This change brings several benefits. Control over time. It allows interactions at your convenience, freeing you from the constraints of lengthy calls. Effective communication. Text messages or emails enable more organized, concise, and to-the-point messages, leading to quicker understanding and responses. Focused discussion. This mode of communication facilitates focusing on core questions and requests, allowing for accurate responses without prolonged discussions. By adopting this approach, you assert control over your time and maintain effectiveness in your daily life. Diplomatically proposing a change in communication methods creates a positive environment for both you and your contacts. Stoic philosophy emphasizes understanding what is within your control and what isn't. Time vampires try to seize control of your schedule, but you can regain it by setting boundaries and managing your time intentionally. Remember Seneca's words, "It is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it." Associating with people who uplift you and align with Stoic principles is crucial for your progress in Stoic philosophy and personal growth. The seventh type of person to avoid is the manipulator. Picture your life as a movie script where you're the main character, and you have a clear vision of how your story should unfold, who your allies and mentors are, and what your final act looks like. Now, enter the manipulator, the shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script without your awareness, steering your storyline off course. The manipulator is a skilled practitioner of emotional and psychological maneuvering. They employ tactics like flattery, guilt trips, or even deceit to redirect your life in a direction that primarily benefits them. Perhaps you have a friend who consistently persuades you to foot the bill for dinner by saying, "You know, I've been having a tough month, and you're so successful, it wouldn't mean much to you, but it would make my day better." Over time, you realize that your generosity has been exploited. However, confronting them can be uncomfortable because they framed it as a favor to a friend in need. Dealing with a manipulator can be a delicate task. One effective method to counteract their tactics is what some experts call fugging. This technique involves acknowledging any truth in the manipulator's statements while refusing to be swayed by emotional coercion. For instance, if they suggest you cover dinner due to your success, you could respond with, "You're right that I've been doing well, but let's split the bill as we usually do." Another approach is to establish clear boundaries and consistently enforce them. If the manipulator pushes you to lend money or commit to tasks that make you uncomfortable, learn to say no assertively while maintaining your composure. "I can't lend money, but I'm here to offer emotional support." This sets a boundary while preserving the friendship. Drawing inspiration from Stoic philosophy, remember that you cannot always control external circumstances, but you can always choose how you respond to them. Manipulators thrive on your predictable reactions, manipulating your kindness, guilt, or desire for approval. By opting to respond differently, you regain control of your script. If you detect a manipulator in your life, remind yourself that you hold the pen, and your life's narrative is yours to craft. While your story may feature a diverse cast of characters, your journey, as the protagonist, should always be guided by your values and decisions. Reclaim your script and don't let anyone manipulate your life's narrative. The eighth type of individual to be cautious of is someone who revels in excessive consumption, often referred to as the overconsumer. In contrast to the Stoic philosophy's principle of moderation, these individuals tend to believe that accumulating more possessions will solve their problems, when in reality, it only changes the nature of their issues, as Seneca wisely observed. The overconsumer can be found in various forms, whether it's excessive material possessions, overindulgence in food, or a relentless pursuit of extravagant pleasures. Consider Jack as an example of someone who thoroughly enjoys indulging in excess consumption. He frequently engages in extravagant shopping sprees, regularly attends lavish parties, and dines at upscale restaurants without restraint. Jack constantly seeks pleasure and happiness through the acquisition of material possessions and the enjoyment of delectable cuisine. Unfortunately, this unrestrained pursuit of pleasure has led him to overspend on unnecessary items and engage in late-night extravagances, disrupting his financial stability in daily routines. Jack exemplifies the kind of person Stoic philosophy warns against, an individual who seeks happiness and fulfillment by accumulating and consuming excessively. In doing so, he forfeits self-control, leading to financial instability, time mismanagement, and emotional turbulence. Stoic philosophy, on the other hand, places great importance on balance, moderation, and the cultivation of spiritual values over materialistic ones. It contends that genuine contentment is not derived from amassing possessions but from comprehending our limitations and leading a life grounded in ethics and self-discipline. In Jack's case, he can find true balance and happiness by redirecting his focus towards spiritual joys and exercising restraint over his greed and impulsive consumption habits. Stoics understand that lasting contentment does not stem from excess but thrives within the realm of moderation. They advocate for mindful engagement with the world, cherishing life's joys, and refraining from reckless indulgence. Achieving this stable and virtuous state of mind necessitates effective self-management and the ability to manage personal desires efficiently. The ninth type of person to be cautious of is the gossip. In today's modern world, where communication is easy and swift, gossip has become prevalent. These individuals spread stories with little concern for truth or the potential negative impact on others. Associating with them can sow seeds of mistrust and misunderstanding in your life. As Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be one." Being a Stoic means striving for virtue and truth, and engaging in gossip diverts you from that path. It is crucial not only to avoid participating in gossip but also to be wary of those who do not uphold moral values and truth. Imagine you work in a competitive and sensitive work environment, and you've successfully completed a challenging and important project. You're proud of the results. However, you soon hear from a colleague that negative rumors about you and your work are circulating within the company. In this scenario, your colleague takes on the role of the gossip. By spreading inaccurate and disrespectful information, they create a tense atmosphere and foster misunderstandings about you and your work. The gossip not only damages your work morale but also negatively impacts the overall work environment. In such situations, you can apply Stoic philosophy by maintaining your integrity and not allowing gossip to tarnish your character or morality. Continue to work with virtue and produce high-quality work to let your truth and values shine brighter than uncertain rumors. The final type to avoid is the Lord of Pessimism. Pessimists are individuals who only see the promise of rain in a gloomy sky. Their minds are like dark rooms with no windows for light to enter, as they focus exclusively on negative aspects and fail to recognize the opportunities that challenges often bring. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. This serves as a testament to the power of perspective. In Stoicism, optimism, or at least a balanced mindset, is considered important. It's not the external events but how we evaluate them that can cause disruption. It's advisable to stay away from those who consistently exude negativity. Throughout life's journey, our social relationships shape our path. Who would want someone to dampen their spirits during peak moments or lead them into a negative mood during challenging times? By recognizing and avoiding these 10 types of individuals, you can protect your mental peace, focus on what truly matters, and navigate your Stoic journey with resilience and virtue. Thank you for reading, and if you found this information valuable, please consider supporting our ongoing exploration of Stoic philosophy by liking and subscribing. Your engagement and commitment to Stoic principles contribute to a community of individuals striving for wisdom, courage, and a well-lived life.